Hi, I'm Tom Jones and welcome back. I've got a little idea here I think that will help you in doing the composition on your future paintings. I want to talk to you today about center of interest. Sometimes it's called focal point, sometimes it's called area of interest. Regardless of what you call it, it's very important to your painting. Let's talk about it just for a moment. Remember that in a painting, the center of interest is like the plot in a story. It's what the painting is about. And it's what you saw in a particular scene that got you so excited that made you want to photograph it, sketch it, paint it in the first place. It's the story behind the painting. It's the most exciting part of the painting. So let's talk a little bit about it. The center of interest is sort of like the star of a show. Most of us have been to a stage play, either on Broadway or off Broadway, college, high school, local theater, or whatever. And typically in a theater situation, you have a star of the show. The star, as a general rule, gets the most applause at the end, but before that, they usually get the best costume, they get the most important lines, they get the most light and camera and so forth and attention. The rest of the cast is equally important, no less important than the star of the show, but they don't get the star treatment. So let me show you what that means. In a center of interest in a painting, as a general rule, they'll get the brightest colors. Doesn't mean you can't use the colors elsewhere, but as a general rule, in that case, you'll get the brightest colors, the sharpest edges, as opposed to soft edges, the greatest look of detail or activity going on, and the greatest contrast between lights and darks. There can be other ideas in that center of interest, but as a general rule, if you've put those in there, this is basically going to be helpful in your painting. Now, the question becomes, where do you place the center of interest? Obviously, it's not in the center of the painting or in the bullseye, not on the vertical line as a general rule, or the horizontal line as a general rule, though it can flow into those areas. Okay? So let's take a look at the center of interest. So it's either at, basically in my case, it's 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, or 8 o'clock. From what you're seeing, it might be just the opposite. But at any way, it's in those areas, okay, at any rate. Now, let's take a look. If you have, let's say, instead of a landscape shape, let's say you've got a portrait shape or a horizontal, it's basically the same idea. You just turn it around, and it's basically the same idea in this case, okay? So that's a little bit about center of interest. Now let me show you what we're talking about. You'll notice that the center of interest in this case happens to be in this area. The rest of the painting is equally important, but this is getting the most dynamic effect right here in this particular painting. Okay? Try using the center of interest in your painting in a very strong way, and you'll find that you'll have more paintings, or paintings with more impact in the future. The other thing to remember too is that sometimes it's important to start your sketch with the area of interest. So start your sketch area in that particular area at the beginning, and then that will help you remember that that's where it's supposed to go. Another tip that will help you is to draw just a very faint pencil line, very faint, down the center and across the center this way, and that will keep you from putting the center of interest in the middle of your painting. Typically what you'll see sometimes with a beginning painter is the lighthouse goes right in the middle, the flower goes right in the middle, and so forth. But if you draw that pencil line first very lightly, that will help you keeping the center of interest in one of these four areas and not in the center. Thank you very much. I hope this is helpful to you.